So, today we're diving into a story about growth. But, it's not the kind of straightforward success story you might be picturing. We're going to explore what happens when one part of your life, say your career, absolutely takes off, while another really important part kind of gets left behind, creating this huge imbalance. And our story really kicks off with this one, single line. This isn't just about getting older. No, this is about a massive shift in who this person was. A change that was about to set the stage for everything that came next. So, what was the spark? What caused this big change? Well, it was a brand new environment, a place that basically forced him to be someone different. And in doing so, it unlocked a part of himself, a voice he probably didn't even know he had. See, in school, he was the shy kid, pretty much invisible. But college was different. It made him speak up, and almost out of nowhere, this new version of him started to emerge. He went from feeling scared and small to being seen as confident, articulate, reliable. It was a complete reinvention, and it happened because it had to. And here's the thing you've got to get about this new confidence. It wasn't loud or flashy. He wasn't trying to be the center of attention. It was this quiet, grounded kind of self-assurance. He was just solid. You could count on him. He was present. Now, this new identity wasn't just some feeling he had on the inside. It started showing up in the real world, in actual achievements, with each success building right on top of the last. And the whole thing felt really natural. I mean, doing well in his classes was almost like muscle memory for him. And that made him the go-to guy for classmates and teachers. Pretty soon, he was the class representative. And get this, it wasn't because he was chasing power. People just trusted him to get things done. And then, at only 19, he takes this huge, quiet leap. He starts his own company. And this is the absolute key to the whole thing. The confidence he was feeling now, it wasn't something he had to fake or force. It was real, because it came directly from what he was doing, from solving problems, from taking on responsibility. He had earned it. Remember that company he started? Well, it actually started working. And this number, 800 users, that became real, tangible proof of his success. But let's be really clear about what those 800 users actually represented. This wasn't some story about going viral overnight or becoming an internet celebrity. Nah, it was about something way more grounded. It was real. He had built something from scratch, proving to himself more than anyone that he could do more than just get good grades.
Okay, so up to this point, it sounds like a classic success story, right? All upward momentum. But there's another side to the story, the part of the ledger that wasn't adding up at all.
And that brings us to the central question that flips this whole narrative on its head. With all this success, all this capability, you'd think his life was full. But if you looked just a little bit closer, you'd see something huge was missing. Where were the connections? Where were the bonds? He knew tons of people, but had very few actual deep friendships. Most of his conversations were, practical. They had a purpose. And it's a weird feeling. He wasn't exactly lonely, but he wasn't bonded with anyone either. Even his own relatives felt like strangers, and trying to make small talk just felt heavy, like a chore. So, what do you do when something feels that uncomfortable? Well, instead of leaning in, he started to pull back. He just started avoiding social stuff that felt like an obligation. And over time, that avoidance, it just became his default setting. And all of this whole situation, it brings us right to the core idea of this whole story, what we're calling the asymmetry of growth. It's what happens when your personal development gets seriously, fundamentally lopsided. So what do we mean by that exactly? Well, asymmetrical growth is when your professional skills, your ability to lead, to build things, to just get stuff done, they shoot through the roof. But at the same time, your ability to connect with people, to feel comfortable in social settings, that just stalls out. One part of you is sprinting ahead, while the other is kind of left in the dust. And this table just lays it all out, plain and simple. Look at the left side. Lead, speak, build, execute. These are powerful skills. Then look at the right. Emotional closeness, casual bonding, effortless relationships. The contrast is just start. I mean, this chart tells the whole story in a single glance, doesn't it? You've got confidence and career way up there, nearly maxed out, and then there's connection, lagging so far behind. This right here, this is a portrait of asymmetry. So why? Why keep pushing so hard on work when the social side was struggling? Well, it wasn't about ego or even really about running away. It came down to one thing: safety. Pushing forward, building things, planning, that all felt predictable, controllable. It felt so much safer than the messy, unpredictable work of just standing still and trying to connect. And this whole story leaves us with a really big question, one that maybe you can ask yourself. We tend to think of personal growth as this cure-all, right? But what if it's not? What if growth fixes some things, but not all? What if, as we get stronger in some areas, we're unintentionally letting other parts of ourselves fall behind? It's definitely something worth thinking about.